Yo, 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 yo. We live and direct. Let's get this shit shared across all platforms while we're here. This for the advance. This for the advanced niggas. Advanced ass niggas. You advanced spirituals. You think you advanced, brother? Well, let's talk about it today, brother. Let's talk about how advanced we are today. Yo, 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 yo. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, Captain? I ain't expect nobody to really, who knows? A lot of people off today. You never know. But we finna get into some advanced shit today. Niggas is advanced. Let's do the advancement. Let's run the advancement test, nigga. Let's see how advanced you are, my niggas. While I sit and ponder on some of my drizzlicious French toast bites. Sir, impeccable. What's happening? You are magnificent and fucking impeccable, my nigga. S.O. motherfucking P in a motherfucking building. Today we gonna get into it. Gang. Because what is spiritual advancement? Ultimately, that's some bullshit. But nonetheless, it's still relevant on the relative level to use words like spiritual advanced. Because within the relative reality of spirituality, there are elementary states, right? Those elementary states, what to certain people say, true indeed, you are me, my nigga. You know we all is one, nigga. So that's where basically what Sir Impeccable just said. That's it right there. Like, if we are one, who the fuck can be more advanced than the next? Ultimately, right? But we're gonna speak on a relative level and then get into the high level conversation, my nigga. Beyond melanin, nigga. Beyond melanin, nigga. We're going beyond melanin today. So, I'm like this. By the time you come to my videos, I already expect you done already heard Bobby Hemming. You done already heard Brother Motherfucking Panic. And really, by way of Travis Majors, a lot of people start fucking with me. So I'm assuming you done already heard Travis Motherfucking Majors. So we start with the OGs, right? I'm assuming you done already heard Panic and Bobby, right? Because me and Travis Majors alike come up under those OGs. They laid down a framework. Bobby Hemmett already laid down the framework for Brother Panic to come in. By the time Brother Panic came in, you see what I'm saying? So I'm assuming you didn't already heard Bobby Hemmett and Brother Panic. Some have not. Granted, I don't know where y'all started at, who y'all started with, but I'm just giving reference to who I started with, right? So they laid down the groundwork, especially for black people. Black people going through a fucking identity crisis, which I now understand all humans have a fucking identity crisis. But nonetheless, so we needed information like that shit that come from Elijah Muhammad that boosted up the black person's ego. Ultimately, is what it was doing. Because we had no sense of identification. We don't know where we come from. We don't know who we are. And these folks so-called stole all the shit from us and hid it from us, right? So that's like beginning stages. Some people get there and sit there and make their house there. Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that. Some people go a little bit further. They start getting into the metaphysics. And you'll see metaphysics on all levels, right? There's no way to talk about things outside or beyond just a regular physical dense level of spirituality or reality, because metaphysics is within all spiritual shit anyway. So you get into the metaphysics of this shit, right? Peace, Coop TGS, the gang showing up. Zero. Peace, 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 peace. Much love and motherfucking blessings. But we finna get into it today, right? So you gradually move up through that. You know what I'm saying? You understand the metaphysics of all of this shit. You get into, oh, I'm not a human being. I'm a spirit having a human experience, right? And so even then, you must go beyond that. So you get into Bobby Hemmett and you get your brother Panics, and they get you into the occult, right? So they are occult masters. In my book, they are occult masters. Hold up. Sir Impeccable says, looking back at it, not knowing who we are kind of strips the ego of identity. I get it now. Facts, right? So, and when I'm studying NLP and learning NLP, you understand with the self identity, the lowercase self, the identity, if you don't have one, it may be easier for you to follow straight into a devotional path, a path of surrender, right? Or you may be easily led and tricked, which is what happened to so-called black people in America or around the world, right? You so easy to be led and tricked because the mind game has been pulled over you. The sheath, the veil has been pulled over you on a fucking mundane level, nonetheless. Which I still think there's something deeper to that. But nonetheless, so we not knowing those people of called African descent or native descent, not knowing who the fuck we are, we needed that aspect, right? We needed that aspect of nah, y'all the gods. You the gods. Look at the walls on Egypt. That's you. Look at the ancient indigenous shit. That's you. Egypt was actually in America. All that type shit. You go through all of that type shit, right? And look, and then you get into my thrive, peace, 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 peace. And he said, hey, don't forget to include you as a master occultist. You paved the way for others as well, my Gnosis. That's love, bro. Appreciate it, bro. That's love. That's love. That's love. Sir Impeccable. My thrive, what's happening? Sir Impeccable said, but we need that at the time. Right. The identity to get the ball rolling. Going get something going to make us feel good. These names, guys, etc. Doing something. Yeah. Facts. So, and that was the introductory level. We needed that type of shit because it will open up the doorway to look elsewhere other than just plain old simple Christianity, right? Just the plain simple Christianity, which we're taught in a Baptist church, right? Or Pentecostal, whichever one. I don't know how Pentecostals run it or Seventh-day Adventists run it. I came up Baptist, right? So those are your beginning stages. You come up out of Christianity and say, oh, it's the white man shit. The white man did this and the white man did that. Don Tree, peace. The gang is showing up today. What's happening? So you start off in those stages, right? You have some ill malice towards Christianity or the Abrahamic religions, right? You start off there. So you may be going E5 or you may go dark side of cult. You know what I'm saying? You start off, you hate white people and all that type of shit. That's beginning level shit. And I've noticed that's not the karma of the West. When I say karma, I just mean the physical reality, the actions, the patterns that have been set out on this fucking side of the hemisphere of the so-called planet that we can't even prove that we really live on. But that's another story. So I've noticed in the East, they didn't have that. And from my teacher, Bobby Hemmett, and what history shows us, by the time the European made it to the East, they wasn't on a war rampage and trying to steal people's identity. They weren't trying to do that. They was learning. They was learning by the time they got over there. They still did what they did mentally to them because obviously mentally, a lot of Indians just want to try to get into the intellectual side of things and come to America and make the money, right? Get into the schools and all of that shit. Nothing's wrong with that, but we're talking about spirituality, right? So by the time they got over there, the masters and teachers had already been passing down information for thousands of years, and it didn't stop by the time the European got there. So that had nothing to do with their karma. Over here, though, we had something, we had to deal with that. So we had to run through your David Ikes, your Jim Mars, who wrote the Behold the Pale Horse. All you had to run through all of that shit just to see how the falsity of reality is. But it also gave you someone to point a finger at. Notice that. Because once you get advanced in spirituality, you no longer have anybody to point a finger at. This is where I'm going with this. Once you advance in spirituality, you no longer have anybody to point a finger at. But notice how all of that information that I just named gives you someone to point the finger at. It gives you someone to point the finger at. We don't point fingers over here if we standing on principle. We're not pointing fingers if we talking about the cosmic principle and standing on P and you are that P. Like my boy Don Tree say, eternally shine. Now, here, and nowhere. You don't get the right to complain once you get to this, I hate saying levels, but once you get to this level of understanding who the fuck you are, you don't get the right to complain. There's no complaining. Hold up, y'all. I see something. I got to stop this in the background because stop. You don't get the right to complain once you come over here. It ain't no enemies over here. It ain't no demons doing shit to you. It ain't no white man doing shit to you over here. You don't hear that over here. The only time that you hear that is in this aspect that we're speaking about now. You don't get to blame it on low vibrational energy. You come over here. That's how you know you're advancing. You have way less complaints. That's how you know you're advancing. You have way less complaints. How can you have way less complaints? Because you have come into an understanding. Dominicster, sign 999, Signy, peace. Appreciate you for showing up. Appreciate you for showing up. But you don't get to do that over here. That's how you know you've advanced. You are not complaining and blaming shit on other people. Matter of fact, by the time you get to this cosmic P, you're not even blaming shit on yourself, really. You can't no more. There's no more I'm my own enemy. High five Siri. Is that what your sign say? Your name say? Matter of fact, you just lose all remnants of blaming. Because we're dealing with knowledge of self. We're dealing with knowledge of self. Today we're going to get into the Gospel of Thomas. Satan, get behind me. When you, that's a funny one. Because here we go. Let me show this picture. I think I posted it. Did I not? I don't remember. I thought I. Hold up. Here we go. Isaiah, which y'all know from the Dark Veil Lifted video I did. Hold up. Damn, it really won't focus. Satan. Right? I form the light and create the darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do this all. Satan got the mask on. God got on the mask of Satan. Two and the same. No difference. So what evil spirit should you be running from? What devil? It's the same God that's doing it. And that God is you. And that God is you. So once you understand that, there's no devil and no Satan to be running from. Let's see. Mothra says, when you first hear you are God, you really don't understand what that means, but you think you do. Self as a God is a huge thing to fucking unpack. Facts. Facts. Because normally, typically, when we take this, what do? When we hear that we God, we taking it to an ego sense. Yeah, nigga, I'm God, nigga. I'm God. I'm the black God of the universe. Whatever the fuck motherfuckers want to run with. I'm God. I'm God. I'm God. I'm God. I ain't got to bow down to nobody. You're not taking it in a sattvic aspect, in a middle point aspect, in a balanced aspect. You taking it because you have lack of self-worth. So you have taken it into a place of your ego and your mind has used that to make you feel superior. Let's keep it real. You said, I love accountability. Oneself, love it. Share G. Hey, this on point with my recent studies. Okay. Oh yeah, the picture I just showed. Accurate. You know what I'm saying? And that's in the Bible, which is not talked about a lot. But it's cool. Nocturnal Spirit. Peace. Welcome. Think it's my first time seeing you here. So welcome. We get raunchy, ratchet with the high level spiritual talks. We get raunchy and ratchet over here with this shit. So hopefully you're not offended here, but all are welcome. All are welcome. You do not have to destroy the darkness, ego, etc. When you know who you are. No enemies will apprehend you. Facts. No obstacles will apprehend you. And that is what we run here. That is what, for those that are just joining, that is what no way stands for. No obstacles will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. Because there are no obstacles. You have the opportunity. The obstacles you come to find out, they're opportunities for you to realize the self, for you to observe, to take out of your own personal identification, your own personal opinions based upon your beliefs that are not real, based upon your concepts that are not real. And that is prosperity, to be able to realize the self, to go into observer mode. So you can prosper over the pain by observing the so-called pain that you think you are enduring. Shout out to Don Tree with that reminder. No obstacles will apprehend you. Yeah, we finna get into it today. Okay. Senator Peckwood said that's when the fighting bondage stop. That's all the mind want to do is find something to do. Facts. And it will give you an obstacle. The motherfucking mind will give you an obstacle. Right? The mind will give you an obstacle. And that's what we're getting into here today. Because what you are is beyond the mind. With this understanding here, we know that the mind ultimately does not exist. Oh, but the first Hermetic principle says the mind is all. No, the mind is all that can be known. And how do you know things? Through the five senses. So the mind is all that can be known. And the mind is the matrix. So the mind is all that can be known. All you can know is shit about the matrix. We're going to get into that today. You can't know the self. That's why actually it's an oxymoron and a paradox. You can know the self, but you can't know the self. You know it by not knowing it and knowing that you don't know it. You have to know that you don't know it to know it. Yeah, paradoxical language. And that's what this shit is. Because when you live in the realm of duality, it has no choice, but the truth has to be paradoxical. It can't be obvious. It cannot be obvious. That's what we're getting into today. So now, once you get into those realms of paradoxical things, this is when we start to advance. We are beyond talking about fucking astrology. Is there anything wrong with astrology? No, it's not. No, it's nothing wrong with astrology. There is nothing wrong with knowing about so-called per se planets. There's nothing wrong with knowing about it. But if you believe that you are under the influence, or that the real you, not the mind and the mind and the body may very well 100% be under the influence of the planets. It very well may be under the influence of the motherfucking planets, but not you, the self. This is what we're talking about with knowledge of self. You are the observer of all of these things. None of these things take any toll on you. This is the advanced aspect of spirituality. This is the last stage of spirituality. This is the point where you figure out there is no spiritual journey. Not before. And there very well may appear to be a spiritual journey that's continuing, that's happening, but that's with the mind. But you are the observer of that mind. The final boss of spirituality. That's it. What my boy just say? Arjuna knows nature is the doer, not you, not the self. Prakriti, the matrix, the creatrix, that is doing everything on autopilot. We're getting into that today. Because let's really talk about it. Because you go through spirituality and you hear all of these talks, right? You hear all of these talks, and if this challenges you, if this makes a person feel uncomfortable when I'm telling you there is no fucking spiritual journey, the mind does not exist, karma does not exist, it's not real. If that offsets you, that's great. What it should do is spark you to try to get an understanding. And if it don't matter, because who are we talking to here? I'm telling you, you not this body and this mind. Even though we run around here saying, I'm not this human, I'm a spirit having a human experience. We really don't sit with that and get the holistic understanding of that. It's just some cool shit to say. To try to ain't none of this, no way. Ain't none of this, no way. You using it as escapism. You using it as escapism. These talks are not meant for the mind. Listen clearly. These talks are not meant for the mind. We are talking to that mustard seed. We're talking to that bindu seed. We're talking to the ain of ain so far. We're talking to the consciousness. This may not bear any fruit immediately. It may happen gradually. This is for the soul. We're talking to the soul, not your fucking humanity, not your ego, not your intellect, not your black, white, brown, pink, American, indigenous, African, Hispanic, whatever pride. We're not talking to that. This is not a conversation for that. We're not talking to that. So the mind is going to reject this. The mind don't like this when you hear that there is no fucking spiritual journey. The mind is going to reject this when you hear that there's no spiritual journey. And all gods have no existence outside of you, the self. We are talking directly to the soul. And the soul receives it. Fuck your mind. The consciousness receives it. And then it will produce whatever things that need to be produced for you to come into that realization. Whether you believe in reincarnation, future lives, past lives, don't fucking matter. It's gonna fester, my nigga. God damn. See this? Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that. That's the mind right there. Like, ooh, fix your shit. It's cricket. You got to be able to pay attention to know when this shit is happening. Fix your shit is cricket, nigga. But this here is beyond the mind. The mind cannot comprehend that to know the self You have to know that you don't know the self. And that's when you really know the self. This is the ask, who am I type of shit. And if you come back with an answer, you got the wrong fucking answer. This is that type of shit. Your intellect cannot conceive. So anything that you can verbally say who you are or what this is or what you are, if you can verbally say it, it's wrong. That's not who you are. But what do we do all day? Talk about who we are. In spirituality, that's what the whole journey is, to seek who the fuck we are. And the answer is here. You are no thing, but at the same time, you are everything. Once you start making it an individual thing, which is what the mind does, which is what the ego does, it creates separation. I'm this and that's that. I'm God and that's the devil. I'm high vibrational, that's low vibrational. I'm divine masculine, that's not the divine masculine. Oh, I'm a divine feminine and I only deal with the divine masculine. Once you create separation, that is what the mind and the ego is doing. We have moved straight into the age of know thyself, at least over here. Let me see some of the comments. It's done in the heart and not the mind. Why? Because the heart is the knower. Y'all know what we've been reading. How did he break it down to us? He tells you that he has to tell certain people the heart and focus on the heart in meditation because they have a heavy identification with this body. They can't get out of the ramifications of thinking that they are this body. So certain people focus on the heart chakra, right? But that's not where it is. It's actually a representation to get you to understand that the self is the source. Focus on the source, not the actual heart chakra or the physical heart. Because the heart is the source. The source does not rationalize. Oh, there's rational and logical thinking. It's not rationalizing how many fucking dimensions there are. It's not rationalizing if it's doing the ritual right. The heart is not doing that. The source is not worried about none of that. That's the mind trying to think about, oh, am I doing enough? I'm not doing enough spiritual shit today. I've been doing too much worldly shit. That's what I keep telling you. You come over here, you understand. I'm about to standing on motherfucking P. You're not worrying if you're doing spirituality enough or not. If you're doing your spiritual practice enough or not. Because you have an understanding. What you have been seeking, what you have been trying to become so fucking divine, you already are. And all you need to do is give attention to it. It's just sitting there waiting to be attended to. That's it. It's hitting up under all that ego and all of that back and forth in the mind. It's hitting up under that. That's the source. Yeah, see, the parasites, guess what? If the parasites come in, and I know you're making a joke, but if the parasites come in and suck off of this, great. Watch the parasites rise. That's it right there. Everything is happening simultaneously. That's what we get into today, Don Tree. We ain't even started the lecture yet. Being literally no thing makes you be everything. Because if you aren't anything, you can be everything. Because there are no attachments and no limitations because of it. That's it. Right there. That's it. Way beyond the heart and blood. So if anybody talking about melanin and my ancestors, we beyond the ancestors. Not to diminish anybody who does ancestral work, but it's a higher understanding here. It's a higher understanding here. This is not, that's what I'm saying. You also start off with ancestral work. That's beginning stages. If nobody's ever told you, and yes, it may offend people, but the ancestral shit is beginning stages. You're talking about ancestors. So when you're talking about ancestors, you're talking about lives of people who existed before you. You haven't even figured out this life. You haven't even figured out this existence. You haven't even figured out this birth. You haven't even figured out this death, or what death we suppose is coming. No one has had experience of death. You don't know who you were before you came into being in this so-called human body that you believe you are. So let's talk. What is it? Past life? We finna get into that. We're gonna get into that. Finish through these comments. The mind thinks, the heart knows. The mind thinks and the heart knows. The mind thinks and the heart knows. God damn, y'all. I done missed too many goddamn comments. Let me see. Facts. Facts. Yep, that middle point. That middle point. All right, there we go. There we go. Because the mind is what? Metaphysical, anyway. The West has practically deified the mind, and God has it caused so much fucking. Oh, and God, it has caused so much fucking confusion. Facts. That's why I say this is the age of the intellect. The age of Aquarius seems to be the age of intellect. AI, artificial intellect. Well, let's figure out another word. Astringent intellect. I don't fucking know. But the intellect is ultimately going to build things, builds beautiful things that it perceives as beautiful, and ultimately that beautiful thing will destroy itself. It will destroy the intellect. The intellect will destroy itself and rinse and repeat. It will do it again and continue to do it again. Every ancient culture that we so-called believe existed has done that. Everyone. And that's because of the ego and the intellect and the mind building up. And then ultimately it gets to this high point and it has to destroy itself. We can go through that another time. Mind / man / images. We getting into it today. Sit back like Shiva and observe. And awareness. Facts. Facts. That's why we laugh at this shit. P. The bloodline is a fun place to play. That's it. Appreciate it, bro. When you realize that you are is beyond astrology, spirits, and gods, you feel more focused on this type of knowledge because there are no other things left. There's nothing left. There's nothing else here. This is all that is. And this is all that has ever been. And this is all that will ever be is the self. Ultimately, everybody gets relieved of ignorance. Ultimately, everybody gets relieved of ignorance. Why? Because you are relieved of ignorance. And there's no difference between you and them. But nonetheless, I get it. On a relative level speaking, yeah. And that's why we do this. This is why this has come. This is why I guess this YouTube channel has started. I'm guessing that's why Travis Major started his. I'm guessing that's why Panic started his. I'm guessing that's why Bobby Hemmings started to speak. It's getting cold now. They want to do winter solstice. I'm just so past that, bro. The self-focus on that. So we are speaking not to the mind. This knowledge is to speak directly to that center point, that principle, that cosmic peak. This is what we're doing here. We're not speaking to the mind. We're not trying to sound intellectually smart about how the universe was created. Right? You want to talk about how the universe was created? Nobody fucking knows, bro. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But we can give you a terminology, or we can give you some concepts, or we can give you some mythology to give that mind something to accept. That's what's happening. If you want to be quite frank, the mind of all human nature, the collective mind of all human nature, every system gives a collection of mythological stories to give you the beginning, to give you how all of this started. Since we want to talk about the universe, or we want to talk about cosmic or the cosmos, whatever stories that you get and how this shit came into play is nothing but the concepts that the mind that has been revealed to the mind. Ultimately, they're true for whoever so shall believe them. But let's talk about pure truth. Direct fucking experience. What's your direct experience? See, this is when you get to talking about this is beyond the books. The books help, nonetheless, definitely help. But let's get to your direct experience. How is the world created for you? Every day. How is the world created for you? In your direct experience, you experience 3 states. Waking state, right now, which we're in. Dreaming state, which is barely any difference, damn near no difference from the waking state. When you go into the dream world, then you have the deep sleep state. Every being, every human being, including animals, go through these 3 states. That's your direct experience, not what any high-level so-called spiritual teaching has taught you. Not any mythology. Mythology implants concepts to you. And I'm not saying they're wrong or they're evil or they're stupid, but what I'm telling you here is, what's your direct experience? Here's your direct experience that no one can deny. You fall asleep, right? And there's this little space in between sleep and dream state. You have no knowledge there. You have no knowledge there. You cannot remember that stage of traveling into the dream world, can you? Nobody remembers that. Nobody has direct knowledge of that. But what you do have direct knowledge of is this. When you go into the dream world, simultaneously, everything pops up. The trees are there. The dogs are there. That house is there. Your grandmother is there. Your brother is there. Is that not your direct experience? Somebody tell me right now, is that not your direct experience once you go into the dream world? Remember, I said the dream world is damn near no different. Matter of fact, it's no different from the waking state. They are one, with a very slight difference in degree. There is no difference between the waking and the dream state. How does that world appear to you in the dream state? It spontaneously pops up. Think about that. It spontaneously pops up. It spontaneously pops up. What intellect was used to create it? Ultimately, we know the mind is the creator in this situation, nonetheless. But can you pinpoint, do you see the mind building it up? Okay, let me build this tree before he get into the dream world. Okay, let me build this house. Let me build this woman. Let me build this. Let me build this before he gets into the dream world. No, you get in there and spontaneously it appears. Guess what else? When you come out of the dream state and come back into the waking state, this world spontaneously appears. This so-called world spontaneously appears. That is your direct experience. You don't got no direct experience of fucking Osiris or the sun god Ra. You don't got no direct experience of a physical god with hands creating this shit. Do you? You don't. You don't have any direct experience of shit swirling around and doing this and stacking this up and doing this. We don't have that direct experience. You have the direct experience of things spontaneously being there. Is that not true? Well, somebody already said it. Oh, yo, Rose of Flame, peace, my God, peace, 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 peace. That is your direct experience. It comes on spontaneously. So why not go off your direct experience? The ego don't like that, or the mind don't like that. Why not? When it's the creator of the shit. Why is the mind rejecting shit like that? It goes to church and hears the stories of how God created the world. Obviously, these are allegorical, mythological stories about how the self creates. It spontaneously turns on. That's your direct experience. Hold up. This shit spontaneously appears. You don't know about all that other shit, or how this universe or how this world came into creation, or that there is a universe. You don't even have that direct experience, bro. You don't. You don't have direct experience of the ancestral plane. You don't have direct experience of the fifth and sixth dimension as if it's somewhere far away. Because we know the dimensions are just in the mind. You don't have that direct experience. Your direct experience is a spontaneous one. Can you accept that? I don't give a fuck if you can. I'm not talking to your mind. Fuck your mind. Fuck your rationality. This is your direct experience. So before we get to talking about we gods of the universe and gods of the... Okay, cool. What's the universe? What the fuck does that even mean? Universe means one song. In the beginning was the word, and God was the word. Dig that. I can rock with that. But you don't got no direct experience of Andromeda. You don't got no direct experience of some faraway black aliens. You have a direct experience of this reality spontaneously popping up. The same shit happened with you in birth, nigga. The same shit happened with you in birth. You spontaneously popped out that pussy. You have no knowledge prior to your birth. You knew not who you were before your birth. And you still didn't know who you were until about 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4 years old. Then that's when the ego watch a child while they're 3 years old. 1 year old, 6 months years old. I'm about to have one. So I will be observing. It has no it has no concept of who it is. Everything that child will learn will be implanted onto it by the parents. And then go out into the world and get those mental impressions implanted on it by the world. Listen, all knowledge that you have ever received is all hearsay. You don't have direct experience of that birth. All knowledge that you have received is hearsay. All that you know for a fact right now is that you exist. It is said that even a fucking what's those ones who don't believe in no God, no nothing? Atheist. They can't deny that they exist. Because to be able to deny that you exist, you have to exist first before you can deny that you exist. And that is what the knowledge of self is about. Knowing that I self exists. All I know is that I exist. I don't know if all of the other shit exists. I have direct experience of me existing. Is that not the truth? Damn, I'm missing a lot. Let me continue though, y'all. Is that not the truth? That's what I mean by truth. All lies have to dissolve into the truth. What's the truth? That you exist. You know that you exist. You have an undeniable fact that you exist. That I am. That's the I am. You know for a fact that I am. You don't know what tomorrow's going to be. You don't know what's going to happen when you take your ass to the bathroom. When you get up out your seat and go piss in the bathroom. You don't know. So even when it comes to astrology down to that point, man, don't get me started. Karma outlines, astrology is outlining the karma of your body in your mind, not you, the self, who is the observer. That's what karma's doing. There is no karma for you, the self. Yes, there's karma for you if you believe that you are the body and the mind. Yes. Even if you believe that, oh, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. Karma's real for that ass. And that common sense understanding that we have, because we don't take that in holistically. The correct thing would be, I am awareness observing the human experience. I'm missing a lot of comments, y'all, but it's flow mode. Let's go. So that's your only direct experience, bro. What are you talking about? Anything else is a faction of the mind. And we know that the mind is illusionary. Let's walk through this again like we always do. You have the 5 elements, you have the 3 gunas. You have the 5 elements will coincide with the 5 fucking senses. You got akasha, that's sound. You got air, that's touch. You got sight, that's fire. You got taste, that's water. You got earth, that's smell. There's your 5 senses and your 5 elements. They are a product of the matrix. And that's the only thing that you can use to know things. To know what fucking cinnamon smells like, you have to have the nose. To know what pussy tastes like, you have to have a tongue. To know what a nigga on YouTube look like, you have to have eyes. To hear a God's name, to be able to pronounce it, you have to have ears. What's the other one? Taste, touch, smell, whatever. I think I named all of them. To be able to see what a mantra, to be able to see what a sigil, to be able to see what a yantra looks like, you have to have eyes. And those are all workers for the mind. All of those senses, remember, inside of those senses, they actually have the software. The software, right? That pre-exists the actual physical nose, the tongue, the ears, the eyes, the skin to be able to touch. The software has to exist. The iOS system has to exist for those things to be able to function and provide information to send back to the mind. So the mind takes in all of this information and is not receiving that information on a first-hand direct experience. Are you getting what I'm saying? Are you getting what I'm saying? The mind does not experience those things on a direct experience. It is transferred back to the mind. Then the mind puts it all together. This is why the mind is the matrix. It builds. It builds, my nigga. The mind is building up. And it's building in its own image. I have created man in my image. This is it. That is the mind we're talking about. Ultimately consciousness, but we'll get there. So when you understand that you don't even experience the so-called outside world directly, then what the fuck are you talking about, dimensions? What the fuck are you talking about? I encountered a spirit. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Because you have to have already perceived these concepts for you to be able to perceive the experience. Your experiences are going to be based off of the concepts. You have to understand the mind. Then you understand the falsity of this reality. I don't give a fuck what ritual we do. I don't give a fuck what god or demon we work with. We are beyond all of those. They have no existence outside of us. These gods and demons are only factions of the mind. That's occult 101. That's occult 101. That's elementary level in occultism. Now, if you come up in a very, very specific spiritual system, of course you think Ogun is the fucking real shit. Of course you think goddamn Jesus is the real shit. And it's not to say that they're not. But what I'm telling you, all of these are factions of the mind. Why? Because you are a faction of your own mind. How you see yourself, how you perceive yourself, it's only within your own mind. The way if you see another person, they only exist in your mind. Your body only exists within your mind. Can you experience your body without a mind? Can you? Can you experience a mystical experience where you've seen a god or a demon without the mind, my nigga? No, you cannot. So if you see a spirit, see a demon, you hear a spirit, hear a demon, what do you use? You use your fucking five senses. If you feel a spirit, feel a demon, you've used your five senses. I just seen what Rosa Flame said. I'm missing a lot of comments, y'all, but this popped up. Let's look that word up. Let's look that word up together. Let's see. Because we finna go into this. Salopiism. I don't even know what that means. Let's look. Oh, yeah. Right. Right. See, and then okay, so that's what salopiism means. So Rosa Flame, you got to be careful with that to not end up in salopiism. And see, and that's right, and that's what these teachings about, right? Because if you closely listen to what's being taught, and I'm not talking to Rosa Flame, obviously, but if a person closely listens and observe what's being talked about, you should not slip into some shit called salopiism. Because you would know that's the ego. You would know that's the ego. You would get mixed up because we're saying all is you, all is the self. You would think that means, oh, it's literally me, the body, in this mind that I have personal ownership over. You will slip up into some shit like that. But if you understand that all of that shit is false, there's no way you can slip into some self-centered shit, because you will be able to see that everything out here is me, not me as in no way pop, or not you as in James, or not you as in Eric, or you as in Sabrina. Not that. But you as in the self that I am, that pure existence. That's the trick of the ego. That's the trick of Maya. That's one of the Ma tricks. It'll get that information and use the ego to attach itself to something like that and make itself feel superior. So look at how they described it in the second description. The view or theory that the self is all that can be known to exist. See, look, only mind exists. See, and here, guess what we're telling you? The mind does not exist. The mind is the falsifier. That's the false God. The false God is the mind. You see? So if you're hearing this, don't you have received it and you've heard it. So if you take this shit and do what the fuck you want to do with it, do what the fuck you want to do with it. I'm telling you here that the mind is false. The mind ultimately does not exist. Only consciousness exists, which has no name, and which has no form, and which has no function. The mind has a name, form, and function. Matter of fact, the mind gives everything its name, form, and function. Hence the story of Adam in the fucking garden. That's a lion, that's a bear, that's a tiger, that's a tree, that's a roach. It's giving things name, form, and function. That's what the mind does. When you know the self, you know that none of that is it. Ultimately, all is the self. All of that is nothing but the self. But the mind is the reflection of the self. It's called reflected consciousness. It's what the mind is. It's an aspect of it, but it's a reflection of it. So what does a reflection mean? A distorted view. The mind is the distorted God. The mind is Yalabroth. It think it's created all of this and have become very prideful about it. Let's see. God damn, I'm missing so many comments. The mind is the director and it's also the player. The mind is the director and it's also the player. It stars in its own film. It's the director. It wrote the play. It directs the play. and it plays within the play. Because that's the only way that this reality can exist. We got to understand that. That's the only way that this reality can exist. It's through the mind. That's the only way this reality can exist. That is through the mind. But you have to know that you are the observer of the mind. That is your direct experience, though. That's not some shit you have to learn in a book. It's just some shit you have overlooked. Luckily, we have books and spiritual teachers to point this out to us. I was on the phone with Curve, and we was talking about that. He was like, what's the point of reading? He answered his own question before I even could. But, like, what's the point of reading then? Certain shit like what we've been reading here on Know Thyself Sundays is to dispel the ignorance that you are this body and this mind. Because what does the mind do? The mind takes upon mental impressions and make those things its beliefs. The mind takes upon mental impressions. So if you take the mental impression upon yourself continuously, repetitively, that you are not this body and this mind, and that you are actually the one observing this body and the one that's observing this mind, because you're not getting that everywhere. Your parents not rolling around the house telling you that you're not this body and this mind, and they shouldn't be as a child. That's not what the parents should be doing. That's not what the school should be doing. You have to live you have to so-called live an experience and then run into this information when you start to question reality as all you have done already. But you know you are the observer of the mind because you observe your thoughts. Who is that who's observing your thoughts? We know the knower and the thing that is known cannot be the same thing. That's your direct experience. The one who knows that this is a fucking vape cannot be the vape. So who is that who's observing the vape? So the one who observes the mind cannot be the mind. So who the fuck is that who's observing the mind? Who the fuck is that who's observing the dreams? Who the fuck is that who is observing the so-called physical world? Who is that? That is what knowledge of self is about. That is what the cosmic principle is about. You did. We are neither of those things. Facts. Man, tap in with us, bro. Stay make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can receive the what's the name. And before you go, please hit that like button. Appreciate you for stopping by with us. Cause we really just getting started. We really just getting started. We really just getting started. So we know that the gods and demons are nothing but the aspect of the mind, and you are beyond the mind, right? So now that you know you beyond the mind, who are you? That leaves you in a state of I don't know. Good, because this here you can't know, but you know. You can't know, but you know. You won't be able to know, but you will know exactly who the fuck you are. You know that I am. You know that I exist. That's all that you know. That's your direct experience. And you know from waking, dreaming, in deep sleep state. In the waking state, you feel that you are this body by way of using the senses. In the dreaming state, you forget about this body and you create a dream body. and use the senses in there. So now your senses, your five senses, are no longer turned outward, using it to detect and sense the physical world. Is turned inward and used to detect the inward world and sense the inner world. But there's another state, deep sleep. Now, when you go into deep sleep, now you're in a waking and dreaming state. Both the waking and dreaming state, you got all your problems. You take all your problems and your worries into your dream state. You take all your problems and worries and happiness into your dream state. You even take a body into your dream state. But in deep sleep state, what do you take? You take none of that in your deep sleep state. You don't have no worries about your kids. You don't have no worries about your bills. You don't have no worries about if you a real man or you a real woman. You don't have no worries about money. You don't have no worries about God. You don't have no worries about dimensions. You don't even have those thoughts about God's demons, dimensions, spirituality, spiritual practice. That's how you know all of that shit is transitory. All of that shit is transitory. All of it is false. Because if it wasn't false, what is true? That which remains consistent. But it's not, it's only consistent in awakening in the dream state. God, demons, spiritual practice, spiritual work, spiritual advancement, how the world was created, how the universe was created, dimensions, all of that shit only exists in the waking in the dream state. Do you hear me? All of that shit only exists in the waking the dream state. That's how you know it's false. Because it's not consistent. It's not consistent. It only exists in those states, which means what? It only exists in the fucking matrix. When you go into deep sleep state, there's no thoughts. There's no senses that you're using. There's no thing to observe. There's just a knowing that exists there. How do you know? Because when you wake up, you know that I didn't dream last night, but I had peaceful sleep. Slept like a baby. I have no remembrance of it. You know, there's times when you have dreams and you wake up and you know you dreamed, but you forgot you dreamed. So that's different. But you go into those states where you go to sleep and you know you didn't dream, but you know you slept. And there was nothing to ever even try to recall, but you know you slept. I'm not saying that that is consciousness. What I'm saying that is the consciousness observing nothing. That's what the only time the mind gets a rest is in deep sleep, or what the Hindus call samadhi, the state of no mind. The mind is not real. The mind is false. It is not consistent. This is your direct experience. Before you read a book, before you clicked on YouTube and found anybody teaching, that was your direct experience. We're dealing with direct experience. What is there to debate? Before we get into the deep concepts, before we get into the allegories or the parallels or whatever the fuck, parables, before we get into all of that, this is your direct experience. You have never been anything but the fucking observer, bro. That's when I say, oh, you think you doing something. I know you think you're doing something with all your magic tricks, because I am a magician as well. I understand. I come from the occult as well. I understand. But we think we doing something. And that's cool. That's part of the play. That's how I take it now. It's just part of the fucking play. I don't have any real nail in that goddamn coffin. I don't have any dog in that fight, any horse in that race. The real I, the real principle. Nigga. I have no dog in this fight. I would never tell you not to do those things. I'm telling you the ultimate truth that I just ran through. You only can perform rituals where? In the waking state, in the dream state. Because I've done rituals in my dreams. I've done rituals in my dreams. I've seen the gods and goddesses in my dreams, as well as the waking state. But when that deep sleep state comes, none of those gods, none of those rituals mean a goddamn thing. Because nothing means a goddamn thing. Because there is no thing. This is your direct experience, bro. This ain't you trying to sound all deep. This ain't a motherfucker trying to be smarter than the next motherfucker. Because I know more spiritual concepts than you. Because I know more gods than you. Because I know more demons than you. Because I've done more rituals than you. Because my people was the first people on the planet than you. Whatever. This ain't none of that shit. This ain't no shit you can get ego-fied about. Fuck, nigga. Rosa Flame said, I love you. You funny. You funny motherfucker. What Sir Impeccable said. I've been saying the same shit, Sir Impeccable. Although pyramid mounds, etc., are a result of the intellect and the ego. They're just dead on that. I know you think pyramids and mounds is the most phenomenal shit, but they're only a result of the ego of humanity and the intellect of humanity. As I said before, how you know? The same way motherfuckers, spiritual people or regular people is fearing AI technology. How do you know, since the pyramids and mounds were technology, how do you know people during the time those things were being built, or humanoids during the time that those things were being built, how do you know they didn't feel the same way? That's an abomination. What are you doing building this pyramid? What do you mean it's going to do X, Y, Z? Because we don't know exactly what those pyramids were doing. But since we believe that they were technology, how do you know that people during those times observing the people building the pyramids, or humanoids, or the gods building the pyramids, how you know that they didn't feel that technology they were building was an abomination? How do you know that? Why you thinking it's the most superior shit fucking ever, and you attaching your ego to it and your identity to it? How do you know, nigga? Sir Impeccable says this shit's funny once you know, or this shit funny once you know or don't know. Facts. This is what I'm saying. The great cosmic joke. Now laugh it up, man. Grandiose show. This is a fucking show. You have put on a hell of a show. God damn. Now, let's get into the Gospel of Thomas, because there's a reason I'm talking about Gospel of Thomas. Because what I just explained, what we just went through in a nutshell, would have been the same thing Jesus would have had to tell Thomas, or Yeshua would have had to tell Thomas, whether you believe the nigga existed or not. The text showed principle in it. The text showed principle all through it. If you want to believe that Jesus don't exist, guess what, nigga? You don't exist. So of course Jesus don't exist, because you don't exist. The fuck? Fuck, nigga. So these conversations we're having here would have had to been the same thing that the highest of the highest priests would only have told a select few. These are the same things that Jesus would have had to tell Thomas. Somebody correct me. Was Thomas actually Judas before his name got changed? Or did he get his name changed, or was Thomas somebody totally different? Because it says his name was Thomas, was Didymus Judas Thomas. So I'm like, okay, did the nigga get his name changed? Nigga got spiritual and shit, ran into a nigga that was teaching his knowledge. And like, you know what? I'm gonna change my name to Thomas. Fuck that. I ain't going by this oppressor name no more. Same shit niggas doing today. But this would have had to been the teachings that had to be taught. How do I know? Because y'all can read the text and understand that, guess what? We're saying the same shit here. Maharashi, saying the same shit here. The non-dual teachers are saying the same exact shit. Bobby Hemmett, Brother Panic, Travis Mages, Gnosis, saying the same exact shit, brother. Which lets me know the principle is there. The principle is there. So let's get it. I'm not going through the whole thing here. Now it's like 107 verses. We'll be here for 3 hours. We're going to run through this. I think the first one, no, let's start off at the top. This says what? These are the secret teachings. Hold up. These are the secret teachings which the living Jesus or Yeshua spoke, which Didymus Judas Thomas wrote down. Okay, Rose of Flame, that's news to me too. I don't know. I just seen Judas and Thomas. I'm like, damn, hold up. Was Judas and Thomas the same person? Nah, facts, Coop. It's very obvious why they would have cut this shit out. Very obvious why this shit would have been cut out. So, first thing Jesus said. First thing the nigga said. Whoever finds the interpretation, not just the sayings, but the interpretation of these sayings will not experience death. My niggas, is that not what we talking about here? You were never born, so how could you die? You know no birth. You know no death. How could you die? What is death, nigga? You don't know that shit. You don't know birth, nigga. You don't know that shit. Accept it. Or not. I don't give a fuck. But you don't know it. I don't give a fuck how deep the teachings get. You don't know it. The real you, not the human you, who's trying to intellectualize and put pieces together. The real you does not know death. So he said in the beginning, whoever finds the interpretation of these sayings will not experience death. How could he say that? Why would he say something like that when everybody already commonly believes, what you mean? I was born and one day I'm gonna die. So he's obviously not talking about the human flesh. He's obviously not talking about the human flesh. So you will know no death. You will not experience death. The body will. The body will. But you will not. Jesus said on the second one, let him who seeks continue seeking. If you seeking, if you're a spiritual advanced seeker, title of this video, keep seeking until you find. And I'm going to tell you, I have found. For me, I have found. For this body-mind complex, the mind keeps wanting to do other shit, but I have known that I have found. When he finds, he will become trouble. And oh, did I become trouble? I told you niggas my experience. I was very troubled. Heart palpitations and all of that shit. Body overheating and all of that shit. All of that cool, fancy shit. Fuck it. When he becomes troubled, he will be astonished. Then I was astonished. And he will rule over the all. So once you come into this spirituality journey, everybody goes through this, right? Once you get to seeking, you get to finding information. And when you find that information, that shit rocks your world, right? I've showed y'all pictures where a nigga went through goddamn, lost all this goddamn weight, skin as hell, locks falling out, didn't get no pussy for a year and a half or 2 years. We've all been there. Or some of us are going through there now. Hey, my brother, my sister, if you coming to and coming through here and you are going through that state right now, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm here to tell you. Everybody in here is here to tell you. Yes, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Do not be weary. Stand on the fucking principle and know that nothing will destroy you. And once you reach that point, you will be astonished. You will be amazed. You will be amazed. And once you come to understanding this ultimate principle that we talk about over here, this consciousness, pure awareness, and pure does not mean like it's clean and free of sin. It means it's free of content. It's free of name, form, and function. That's what we mean when we say pure. It cannot be identified by the mind. That's what we mean when we say pure consciousness or pure awareness, the cosmic principle. And once you understand that that is your true nature, you understand that you rule over all. Not that now that you got this, you rule over all, but you have always ruled over the all. You have always been the observer of all things that could ever be known. Yeah, Jesus was spitting that gangster shit that we talking here. Yeah. Let's see what the comments say. What? Yeah, and that's it right there. That's the same thing. This is what Ramana thought about Jesus. The body is the cross. The ego is crucified. What is left is the self. Is that the same teaching that my OG, our OG Bobby Hemmett gave? The same exact teaching. That's what I say. Hey, watch the principles line up. And Bobby ultimately told us too, it ain't the text ain't the problem. It's the people teaching the text that's the problem. Because they only gonna give it through some old minuscule context and concepts. Good afternoon, Moby. Peace, peace. Appreciate you for showing up. You will be distraught, right? It's 12 folks as you read. Oh, damn, it was 12. I did see that. 12 disciples, goddamn it. It is what cannot be named. Facts. Always. Rosa Flame said, cracker. That's what the cracker did. I'm telling y'all, look, let me tell you something about this cracker. He might think he running, but he don't run shit. He running around. He might run around this motherfucker, but he don't run shit. Where my shit at, man? Hold up. Where my Bobby at, man? Where my Bobby at, man?
Get this shit. You get this shit. All that other bullshit ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. All that other bullshit ain't got shit to do.
All that shit ain't got shit to do with the soul. You getting this shit? You gotta stop thinking like a fucking human. You got to stop. You got to stop. Let's get back to the straight drop crack in a pot. So we understand now that understanding these teachings, these non-dualistic teachings, you will not experience death. Understand that you are that one principle, you will not experience death. And let those who seek, when they seek, they shall find. And when they find, they will become trouble, because they notice that all of this shit is false. And when you become trouble, you'll also become astonished once you keep going, because you will figure out, oh, I am this ultimate principle who rules over the all, over everything that can be known. That is I. The I am. That is I. That is my true identity. Right? Let's jump down to another one. Let's go down to 9. All right. So this is what this shit is like. This is what this shit is about. Read, check this out. Jesus said, now the sower went out, like the one who sows the seeds, right? The sower went out, took a handful of seeds and scattered them. Some fell on the road. The birds came and gathered them up, right? You know seeds supposed to go on the ground, but he threw some of these and they landed on the road, and some of the birds came and ate the seeds, right? Others fell on a rock and did not take root in the soil. So some didn't even land in the soil. Y'all know this is a parable, right? But let's get to it. And did not produce ears. So these seeds didn't produce anything. And others fell on the thorns. They choked the seeds, and the worms ate them. But check this out. And others fell on the good soil, and it produced good fruit. It bore 60 per measure and 120 per measure. Understand this here. What's being said here is this. When you speak this type of information, now we got 13 people. That's the 12 with the dot in the middle point. We're at the middle point. When you understand this information, this type of information, yes, you can get 1,000 and 100,000 people to tune in when you're talking about dimensions and ancient aliens and fucking light body and fucking melanin. But when you get to talking about this type of shit right here, the shit is given out freely on YouTube, as you can see. Shit is given out freely on YouTube. Some of this shit will land and fall on the road. Some of these seeds that have been given here will fall and land on a road. And birds will come and scoop them up. Oh, that ain't do shit. Some of these will fall on the rocks and will not take root in no soil. Some of this shit will fall on the thorns and be eaten up by earthworms. But the other shit will fall on good soil and will produce something. It will produce. That's why I say we're not talking to the mind here. A lot of this shit will fall on people's mind and think this is some cool shit. Think that no way pop this, whatever guy, no way pop my Gnosis is just talking some cool shit. That's falling on the rocks. That's falling on the road. That's falling on the thorns. And it's not going to produce nothing. Niggas going to get it and it's going to do nothing for them. They just heard some cool nigga talking and cussing. He's funny. Ha ha ha. He's funny. And some people will hear it and reject it. He don't know what the fuck he talking about. That's stupid. Those are the seeds that fall and don't produce anything. But for some people, this will hit directly to the soul, will hit directly to that consciousness, will hit directly to that I am, which is the most subtle of the subtlest. And over time, guess what it will do? It will bore 60 per measure and 120 per measure. Guess what? The one who's giving out those seeds, I understood this from Panic. What does that mean? When Panic said to Armani is like, oh yeah, so what about the people who don't get it? He said, I don't give a fuck about the people who don't get it. I said it, nigga. And because I said it, that's all that I need to do. It's been said. It's not about making niggas get it intellectually. It's not about hammering this shit down to each and every fucking person and making them get it. They running from, come here, nigga, you gonna get this. It's not about that. That's ego shit. Me and my girl was talking about this, and that was the same thing with Moses. That's why Moses didn't get to see the promised land or whatever land, because his heart was so heavy about his people not getting it. And it's not about people getting it. It's for who the fuck is for. It's going to bear fruit for those who is for. Get the fuck out of your ego by trying to make people understand shit. If they're on that level, speak to them on that level that they're at. And if they get it, they get it. That's who it's for. And if they want to know more, go deeper in with them with more. You don't go out randomly doing this. I know we all started like that. We all started like that. Yes, I did. I got on that Facebook when I ran into this knowledge and I shitted on the Bible and shitted on Christians and shitted on black people and shitted on white people. I did it all. Trying to tell everybody. Oh, I'm trying to save everybody. Look, this the truth over here, bro. Y'all don't know that's the lies over there. They didn't lie. They didn't lie. And I didn't even have full understanding yet. Yo, Trav, peace. My motherfucking dog, what's happening? So, right, all that bull. Oh, we got. Okay, let's see. Right, all that bullshit. That's what people actually want. All I'm hearing is pump you is pseudo intellectual sophistry. Look at this here. With all those intellectual words, all you trying to say is you don't like what I'm saying. This is not for your intellectual ass. Get the fuck on. You too intellectual. This is not for you. You focus on the messenger versus the message. You are a fucking dropout. Or you're a drop stay. Stay where the fuck, what grade you in. Stay there. Did you read the title of the video? You focusing on the wrong shit. That's why I'm saying these seeds will not bear. You are a worm coming to eat the seed. You a bird coming to swoop the goddamn grain. The fuck are you here for? You know how people don't really get shit, or you know you can tell what people are at. And I normally don't do this to people, but I'm gonna have fun with your ass. This shit is fun to me because why would you take your time to hop in the comments of some shit that you don't agree with? It's obvious that nigga don't know what the fuck he talking about. Why the fuck am I watching this? Block, ignore, skip. The fuck are you doing here? I can tell by the way you worded your sentence that you want to sound very intellectual. You basically think you're more intellectual and you know more. Well, fucking know more, because I don't know shit. And I mean it. I don't know a goddamn thing, buddy. Next one. Sir Impeccable. When it's two or more gathered in my name, I am in the midst. Profanity is the weapon of the witless. Can you articulate a point without cursing or being bombastic? It's giving fake woke all due respect. How the fuck you gonna disrespect a motherfucker and then give a motherfucker respect? Oh, you trying to disrespect? You can't disrespect me. Why are you here? You think these are the type of people who think they're superior because they can intellectualize their words way better, and I pronounce words way better than you. Why are you using profanity? Why is profanity? Why is there profanity in your language? You're not holy. This is fake wokeism. We're not woke over here. We never were born. So how the fuck can I wake up and be woke? I was never born. So how do I fucking be woke? How can I fake woke if I never woke up? Nigga, if I was never born. Nigga, you tell me that. Trust in Jesus 920. I got no problem with Jesus. Jesus would, I'm gonna tell you what, this book that we're reading here, Jesus would have had your ass on the outcast. You wouldn't be able to accept, you wouldn't be able to, and that's the next verse we're going to get into. We're going to get into that verse. Matter of fact, let's go to that verse right the fuck now. Because this is for the niggas like this. This is for niggas like this. verse 13. Verse 13 says this. Jesus said to his disciples, compare me to somebody and tell me who I am like. Simon Peter said to him, you are like a righteous angel. Matthew said to him, you are like a wise philosopher. Thomas said to him, Master, my mouth is wholly incapable of saying whom you are like. I can't give a reference, nigga. There's nothing I can compare you to. I've never seen a nigga like you, my nigga. My nigga, Jesus different. My nigga, Yeshua is different. God damn. I've never seen a nigga like you before. But guess what? Jesus said, I am not your master. Because you have drunk. You have become intoxicated from the bubbling spring which I have measured out. That I have measured out. Laid it out for your ass, and you become drunk off of that shit. And he took him. Who did he take? He took Thomas. Check this out. And he took him. He took Thomas. Because what did Thomas say? My mouth is utterly impeccable, incapable of saying who you are like. And he took Thomas, and guess what he said? He took him and withdrew. So he took him away from them. He took him away from the other 11 disciples. Why would he do that? And he told him 3 things. He told him 3 things. He didn't give him all those talks. See, listen, this is what I'm saying here. The truth is always simple, my nigga. He took him away and told him about the 3 goddamn gooners. He took Thomas away from the rest of the 11 disciples because they're like niggas like this right here. Profanity is a weapon of the witless. Can you articulate a point without cursing and being bombastic? It's giving fake woke with all due respect. Because you niggas want to compare it to something. You niggas want to compare this knowledge to a certain stature. A person should give this knowledge in a certain stature. Why do you think Jesus asked them to compare me to something? He wanted to see where their mind was at. Is you niggas hearing this shit? He wanted to see where their mind was at. He wanted to see where their mind was at. If you niggas can compare this shit to something, you niggas is stuck in your mind. What I'm talking about is beyond your ego. Mr. Trust in Jesus 920. Your ego wants this shit to be delivered to you in a certain way. And when a nigga like Thomas say, I can't even utter shit out of my mouth for what you like. Jesus said, okay, I get it. Come here. He left him and told him 3 things. Where we at? He pulled him away and told him 3 things. He told this nigga 3 things. Nigga, I ain't got a lot of shit to tell you like I got to keep telling these niggas all of these parables. I ain't got to keep giving you parables. You get it. Something in you is getting it. Jesus is able to recognize that shit in this nigga. You get this shit, my nigga. So come here, let me tell you something. And I only got 3 things to tell you. It don't tell you in the text what he said, but you can probably assume, right? Based off what we've been talking about the past hour and 30 minutes. When Thomas returned to his companions, they asked him, hey, bro, what did Jesus say to you, bro? Why he pull you over there and tell you something? What he tell you, bro? Hey, bro, what Jesus say, bro? What Jesus say, bro? Man, Thomas said this. This is what Thomas said. Thomas said to them, nigga, if I tell you one of the things which he told me, you will pick up the stones and throw them at me. A fire will come out of the stones and burn you up. If I tell you what this nigga just told me, ain't no gods, ain't no goddesses, heaven and hell, fuck all that shit. It's only you, the self. that exist. All of those are just concepts that we have to give the ignorant because they don't know. Because they don't know. I have to give them those things. I have to give them those things based upon the concepts that they have already accepted and cannot get rid of or cannot see past. So if I tell you, I can't tell you because he knew that I can see past those things. He can see past those things because he can't utter a word based on his concepts. He couldn't utter a word to describe Jesus based off his concepts. He ain't got no concepts. So he knew that he was open to have no concepts. Let me give you some shit that's beyond concepts of the common man, my nigga. Come on, bro. And guess what? And if I tell you niggas gonna try to goddamn do me in with some stones. You're gonna try to spin on me with some stones, but ultimately you don't even know those stones that you're gonna try to use to hurt me. You ultimately gonna end up hurting your motherfucking self, nigga. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. We getting down and dirty tonight. We getting down and dirty tonight, nigga. Let's read some of these other comments while I'm doing all my cussing and bombastic. My boy said, Jesus wouldn't even pay that man no mind. Jesus tried to show us that we are metaphysical. Everything. Facts. We are not meant to fit no fucking mold. Hey. Oh, damn, Trav said, could have got kicked out, but got roasted instead. Continue with the message, man. Give that nigga dust. Oh, no, we gave him some dust. We gave him something to chew on. If he's still here. That's the last he'll get, unless he just says something else that's fucking fun for me to respond to. I'll make an ass out of him. We are the pure, authentic expression of source. A lot of virgins complete the whole. Ain't no fucking herd. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It's real simple. Oh, y'all already gave him the text. Okay. Yo, Gospel to Thomas. Gospel to Thomas. Shit, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you subscribe. Hopefully you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Appreciate you for being here. Real shit. This shit is not for everybody. And that's how we started this shit out. This is why Thomas took him. This is why Jesus took Thomas away from the rest of the what's the name. This shit ain't for everybody. I can't give this shit to everybody. Listen, you have to understand, whatever spiritual system there is, there's the thing that's given to the common man. And then there's things that's given to the ones who are close to the priest. So you got the shit that Jesus is preaching to everybody in the land. Then you got the shit that Jesus is teaching to his disciples. And even within that circle of Jesus and his disciples, he still has an even closer knit group, Thomas, that he can only tell certain shit to him. I can't tell everybody this shit. Do you get this shit? This is how secret societies start, and it's needed. I used to be against secret societies, even though the ones that we think they ain't shit. Illuminati ain't shit. They pussyfooting around. I'm talking about on this level of shit. You are the Illuminati, the real Illumin ones. It has to be reserved for those because everybody else can't get this. And if they do, they'll come into some of that salopism. They'll come into some shit like this. Salopism. The quality of being very self-centered and selfish. When they think we're talking about the self, they'll get to thinking about only the mind exists. and only minds exist. When over here in this teaching that we're talking about, the mind does not exist. The mind is false, which we ran through in the first 45 minutes or an hour of this shit. This shit can't be for everybody. So let it land on ears who have ears to hear. So thank you for being here, my friend. Okay, like Trav already lined up with you. Of course it's rejected by the churches, nigga. I thought you was intellectual. Wouldn't you understand why they were rejectist? What the fuck? Of course the apostiles of the churches. You don't know about the Roman church? Nigga. That's fucking 101. Fool. Facts. Facts. Yep, the grave you dig. Dig two of them. Martha says, watch your mouth. Watch you a bad, that's a bad mother. Watch your mouth. That bad motherfucker. Okay. We're going to continue after I read this. Trust in Jesus. You should be trusting. Why are you over here if you trust in Jesus, bro? Nothing that I'm saying should be stopping or doing anything. You should just be trusting. You don't trust in Jesus. I'm going to tell you. You don't. You over here debating your faith. We don't have faith over here. We have knowing. So if you don't know shit, if you don't have true knowing, if you don't have true knowing, this is not the place for you. You should be giving all trust to Jesus and knowing and ignoring the rest. I think you are a fake woke person. I think you're a fake woke. I think you're a fake Jesus follower. I don't think you really follow Jesus. I think you're a follower of the intellect. You are a follower of the intellect. You are of the age of information, which is the age of intellect. You are the artificial intellect, my friend. Or you're the artificial intellect. And while we're at it, my boy Rose of Flame is looking for new Illuminati applicants. So since you don't believe in Jesus enough, I would say hit up Rose of Flame and put your application in. You might be useful. You might be useful over there. You just might. So now we're done entertaining that person. We'll just let them continue to drop their quotes. And any of my moderators, if it becomes overbearing right now, whatever trust in Jesus is putting is cool. I'm not even tripping. But if it becomes overbearing, just like y'all got the right to knock the motherfucker out the ballpark. Get your ass out of here, boy. Get your ass out of here. And this is the last one I'm going to address. There is no elite. If you truly understand, there is no elite. So that's false. You are a false prophet. You're trying to prophesy something that's not even true. There is no elite. There is no one who's elite. There's no human being who can be elite, buddy. All right? There's no human being who can be elite. And that's it right there. Really on a wrong live stream. So let's continue, y'all. Let's continue. Now, so what was the next one I had? Oh, let's go. Did we read 9? Yep, we read 9. Did we read 8? So here we go again. And Jesus said, the man is like a wise fisherman who cast his net into the sea and drew upon the sea full of small fish. Full of small fish, right? Among the wise fishermen found a fine, large fish. He threw all the small fish back into the sea and chose the large fish without difficulty. Whoever has ears to hear, let him hear. What is he saying? So once you go through this shit and get all of these spiritual, profound, high-end intellectual concepts, but you run into that one thing, that cosmic P. You run into that ultimate principle. Let all them small fish go. Let all that shit worrying about interdimensional beings getting you in low vibrational spirits and all of that shit trying to get you, let that shit go. You have found the big fish, baby. You found the big fish. You have found the big fish. You got the big kahuna. Let them all go back. At first, you were doing earnest spiritual work. This is also the spiritual journey. Going through the spiritual journey, you fishing for the knowledge of self. You fishing for the knowledge. You fishing for the knowledge. You fishing for it, and you grasp all of this shit. You pick up Hermeticism. You pick up occultism. You pick up Christianity. You pick up Gnosticism. You pick up the East shit. You pick up the Egyptian shit. You pick up all of this shit. Nonetheless, all are fish, right? So none are false in their aspect, in their own respective right. None of that shit is false. But you have found the big fish who sits over all of that. And that is the principle who sits over all of this shit. That is it. You let the rest of that shit go. And guess what? Without difficulty. It wasn't a second guess. It wasn't like, oh, should I, yeah. No, nigga. Oh, this it. Let all that other shit go. I ain't tripping on none of that shit. Let all that other shit go. I got it. This is what I've been looking for. For me, this is what non-dualism has been. For me, this is what Advaita Vedanta has been. For me. Right? Let's go to verse 15. We just picking and choosing. And Jesus said, when you see one who was not born of a woman, prostrate yourselves on your faces and worship him. That is your father. What does that mean? For my non-dualists here, we understand this, right? What the fuck is Jesus talking about right there? Because obviously every human body is born through a woman. Obviously every human body is born through a woman. So what does he mean when you see one who was not born of a woman? Worship him. Man, you know, not really in that level, but he's telling you that one is your father. When you see one who knows he was never born, I was never born here. My soul has never done any of this shit. Consciousness, awareness has never done anything. It has committed no motherfucking sin. When you see one who knows that, that is your father. And you know, whatever. I mean, nigga, your daddy for real. But it's like, that's your teacher. Or even that is the one who is your, because you got to think about, he's not talking to Thomas. Thomas probably is amongst them, but he's talking to the other 11 disciples who really can't understand this shit. So the only thing that they know is to be all up under the guru, thinking the guru or the spiritual teacher, the master, is separate from them. So it's safer for you niggas to get up under him and worship him. He knows this shit that I'm teaching, is what he's saying. The one who knows that he was never born, he knows that I know nothing. I know nothing. Since that, trusting Jesus coming with some good shit. None are false, but you spent all that time telling me how I was wrong. Further proof that Gnosticism is a contradiction and self-defeating, superstitious, mystic system. I'm going to tell you. Let me tell you this. What you're wrong about is this. You want you want the knowledge to be given in the way that you want it to be given. That's where you're wrong. You want the shit to agree with your concepts. That's where you're wrong. You're right for what the fuck you believe. It's 100% true. Whatever the fuck you believe is 100% true. Listen to me tell you, whatever the fuck you believe is 100% true. But you have not recognized that contradictions exist. Even in your goddamn Bible, all through that motherfucker. It's full of contradictions. That's because you lack the understanding, though, that this is a dualistic reality. On a relative level, this is very dualistic. So there's always going to be a hot and there's always going to be a cold. There's always going to be a nigga who disagrees and says these are false teachings and self-defeating and this and it, because there's always going to be hot, there's always going to be cold. There's always going to be a left and right. There's always going to be a positive and a negative. There's always going to be that. But there's one who observes those two things and understand that there are no differences. You are one who don't get that understanding. That's where you're wrong, because you don't get the understanding. What you believe is right, but you're only seeing it based off of your concepts. You can't see outside of your concepts. This is good. So I'm not mad at him for putting this in here, because this is something that needs to be spoken about for other people that come through here and see this shit. The whole Christian faith that everybody practices is nothing but superstitious. Matter of fact, all spiritual systems have nothing but superstitions in them. We're not dealing with superstition. We're not dealing with superstition here. There's nothing that's been said about superstition. Every system has contradictory inside of it. You yourself, inside of your mind, you are contradicting yourself on a daily day basis. I don't even have to know you, but I know the mind. All right. The fisher of men thing is different now. Let that cosmic pea pull you out of ignorance and consume you. Facts. Damn. Oh, there you go. Propaganda really goes hard, huh? All that is dealing with your humanity. He's a Jesus freak. They fanatics. As Travis Major said, Trav has rebuked you. I rebuke you. And I'm going to do it in the name of Jesus on your ass. I rebuke him, Jesus. Get him out of here, Jesus. So, that one is your father. That one knows this knowledge. The one who knows he was never born of a woman. Let's see. Next one, 18. The disciples said to Jesus, listen, this is how we started this live stream off right here. Right? We circling back to it. Jesus said to his disciples, tell us how our end will be. Tell us how our end will be, Jesus. Jesus said, have you discovered then the beginning? Nigga, you want to sit here and talk about the end. You niggas want to know how the world will end. You niggas don't even know the beginning. How would you niggas know the beginning? I mean, how do you niggas will know the end if you don't know the beginning? You trying to skip and get into some intellectual high-end shit, and you don't even know the beginning, my nigga. What are you talking about? You don't know the beginning. Same shit sound like some shit my Maharaj be telling their ass. You don't even know this birth. You talking about past births and rebirths. You don't know this birth. Who were you prior to being born? 6 months prior to your birth, who were you? Nobody can answer the question. That's what you need to figure the fuck out. Who the fuck you are. You're trying to know the beginning and the end of the world. You don't even know who the fuck you are. You think you're really in this world. Have you discovered then the beginning? That you look for the end, nigga? For where the beginning is, check this out. There will be the end. At the beginning is the end. The end is the beginning. What have I been saying over here? The beginning of the spiritual journey is know thyself, and the end of the spiritual journey is know thyself. There is no journey because the beginning and the end are the same. The entrance and the exit of the building is the same, my nigga. Blessed is he who will take his place in the beginning. Blessed is he who will take his place in the self. He will know the end and will not expect death. What is there to know? What is there to debate? This is why I said advanced spiritual secrets only to get you here, to get you niggas here. This is the advanced shit here. This is not worrying about no goddamn dimensions and if the world would end in a fiery rain of hell or fiery rain of comets or whatever the fuck. This ain't that shit. Blessed is he who will take his place in the beginning. He will know the end and will not experience death. Listen here, man. You are fucking intellectual. You have no surrender. You have no understanding. You have no trust. You have none of that. You are fucking intellectual. You should take up social work. You should go out and take up social work. Matter of fact, you should get a degree in fucking history. You should be a history teacher at Harvard. You will fucking succeed. Next one. Let's hit 22 up. What 22 got to say? Uh-oh, here we go right here. Let's get to it. Verse 22. Jesus saw infants being suckled. He said to his disciples, these infants being suckled are like those who entered the kingdom. Uh-oh. These infants who are being suckled are like those who get to enter the kingdom. They said to him, shall we then as children enter the kingdom? So should we be like kids to get into the kingdom? Jesus said to them, check this out. And bro, talking about Gnostic dualism, we talking non-dualism, nigga. So what the fuck are you talking about? Dualism, bro. You're so fucking intellectual, but the whole thing here is fucking non-dualism. I didn't get that, though. I'm sorry, maybe too much of my profane words is blocking you from understanding that. Mr. Trust in Jesus 920. He said to them, they said to him then, shall we become as children to enter the kingdom? Jesus said, when you make the two one, starting off, when you make this dualistic reality that you see, when you make that into one, so no dualism here. When you make that dual into one, and when you make the inside like the outside, and the outside like the inside, and the above like the below, and when you make the male and the female one and the same, so that the male is not male, nor the female female. And when you fashion eyes in the place, and when you fashion eyes in the place of an eye, and the hand in place of a hand, and a foot in place of a foot, and a likeness in the place of likeness. Then you will enter the kingdom. I didn't hear shit about getting your morals together and speaking without using profanity and knowing all this historical shit and knowing all these dimensions and knowing what the fuck Mars is doing in Aquarius. I didn't hear none of that shit. I didn't hear none of that shit. All this nigga said is when you make the two one. When you see that all things are alike, all this shit is the same. There is no inside, outside. There is no that and this. There's only this. When you make everything non-dual, niggas, when you make everything non-dual, when you have no enemies, when you see there is no devil, only God, nigga. When you see that, then when you have that conviction, when you know that, my nigga, when you stand on that cosmic principle and know that, then you can enter the kingdom. And not before. Not before. Because a child sees no difference. You and your human intellect grow up and see a difference. You and your concepts grow up and see a difference. You see multitudes. You don't see one. So you can't enter the kingdom. You can't get in. Look at Trav. Oh, hell no. Did I just hear Jesus on some LGBT stuff? Hey, you know they will use that shit. They'll use it, right? Based around their concepts. Look, even Jesus said it in the Gospel of Thomas. When you make a man into a woman and a woman into a man. I told you. No, facts, bro. Facts. I said it's amazing how non-dualistic this shit is. It's amazing how non-dualistic shit is. Facts. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
You get this shit? 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 You get this shit?
Won't he fucking do it? Come on now. When you make the two into one, my mans, my women's, or my non-dualums, what the fuck you said? Let's see. The next one. 26. Jesus said, you see the mote in your brother's eye, but you do not see the beam in your own eye. You see how everybody else is fucked up. Oh, but you don't see how you fucked up. That just shouldn't sit right. Nigga, how the fuck has you come over here and be on some shit like trusting Jesus? Yeah, nigga, I'm using you as an example, nigga. You indespicable. You're so indespicable, nigga. Look at you. You see how everybody else is doing shit wrong. You see the mote in my eye for some reason, but you don't see the mote in your own goddamn eye. When you cast a beam, when you cast the beam out of your own eye, then you will see clearly to cast the mote from your brother's eye. First, you got to see the bullshit in you before you can go talking about the bullshit in everybody else. And once you notice the bullshit in you and cipher through the bullshit in you and see all the bullshit you done, then you can go out and help your brother who has the bullshit in him. But not before then. Because other than that, you on some egotistical shit, thinking you superior. You thinking you elite. For those of us that know, we know. This is your experience. This is your direct experience. I've been there before. Trying to point out the mote in my brother's eye and skipping over my own eye. But when I went within and cast out that mote out of my own fucking eye, then I was able to talk to other brothers. Then I was able to start a fucking YouTube. And not before then. Not before then. I wasn't able to do no consultations before then. There was no path paved before then. Because I've worked on myself and I see the same shit in my brothers. My brother. I'm not jumping down nobody's throat. I'm not getting on nobody's ass. If this conversation pops up and happens, then we go into it like that. This ain't no, hey, brother, come here, let me tell you about yourself. This ain't that. This is not how this shit works. You freely come onto this YouTube. I didn't go tag Trust in Jesus 920 and say, hey, come watch my video. You think you know Jesus, but you don't know this. This is not how this shit works, but this seems to be how those type of people come over here. You think this is blasphemous shit. You think you talking about some shit. This some false shit. This some fake shit. You don't know what you're talking about. Let me tell you about yourself. Watch out for those people. Not watch out as in be weary and be fearful of them, but observe those type of people. And also check yourself. Have I not done that before too? I have. So I can't be mad at them. So obviously, y'all here who know this, y'all know goddamn well I'm not mad at them, but shit, this shit is fun to me. You can't offend me. Can't make me feel low, nigga. Can't make me feel low, nigga. There's nothing. Me don't even exist. Let's see what Trav said. Ultimately, you have to see the truth crosses all barriers. This is simple for everyone to digest. We just get caught up in complex classifications and over intellectualizing. The age of the intellect, my brothers. The age of the intellect. Obi says so true. True indeed, Trav. That's it. I guarantee the Trust in Jesus dude can agree on the majority of the main understanding, right? But will never get there because of over intellectualizing. The intellect is the ultimate builder up and the destroyer. The intellect, the mind, the ego, all the same thing. Got to see the ego for what it is before you can move out the darkness. Facts. Oh, you fancy, huh? You think you know Jesus, but you don't know this. Romans 12:13 says this. Oh, you think you know Jesus? You don't know this. Chapter Galatians 12:22-3. Read. Bro, human beings are fucking hilarious, fool. I swear to God, human beings are fucking hilarious. Oh my God. Hilarious. Dave Chappelle show. Dave Chappelle had a skit where they called him and told him he didn't get the part to the movie. And they told him they gave the part to the movie to Nick Cannon. His daddy said, ooh, Nick Cannon, I love Nick Cannon. He's hilarious. He said, son, fuck Nick Cannon and fuck you. He told his son, fuck Nick Cannon and fuck you too. Tell Nick Cannon to buy your motherfucking school clothes. Fuck Nick Cannon. And then nigga try to say 2 Uzi Vert verse 42. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Bro. Hey, Sacktown done. Oh shit. Oh. Oh shit. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke. Bro. 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 Oh my god, bro. This shit got tears coming down my eyes, bro. Bro. Hey, bro. Hey. Oh shit. Hey, no, you right, Mafra. I do. I do. Appreciate your subbing, bro. That's love. Appreciate you subbing, bro. If you sub to this shit, you're gonna love the rest of the content that is placed on YouTube from this channel. But this shit ain't for everybody. You can't take this shit. Oh shit. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke. I'm broke, nigga. Fuck Nick Cannon. Fuck, son. Fuck Nick Cannon, son. Tell him about your fucking school clothes. Shit, I wonder why I only think I got 1,000 subs yet, bro. Let's see. I don't think I got 1,000 yet. But that, that shit, yeah. Oh, 992. Okay. So we few short of 1,000. It's all good. This shit is for who it's for. Oh shit. We ain't even tripping on the subs. The subs come. You see what I'm saying? See how you just subscribe, so that shit find who it's supposed to find. Because a lot of people, like the other brother that was in here, I don't know if you was in here, they can't take the profanity. So they feel like I'm a fake woke nigga. But how could I be woke if I was never born? No, facts. Facts, Trail. It'll be 1,000 by 2026. 992. You only need 8 more subscribers. So I ask all y'all to share this to your social medias. If any of y'all got social medias, just share it. It don't hurt nobody. But obviously, hold up. Hit the like button. Ain't nobody said nothing about hit the like button. I forgot about that. Hit the like button. Because that ultimately helps YouTube push this shit out, right? I think that's what it's doing. Do you good karmic deed? Because just like you wanted to find this information, somebody else wants to find it. YouTube algorithm yet. Hey, now facts, sir, pick. All right. What verse did we just read? What I'm accusing you of is actually holding an actual intellectual battle about how you're doing it right and everybody else is doing it wrong. Or that this over here is false teachings, man. That's it, bro. That's it. I keep telling you, whatever you believe is right. Whatever anybody believes is fucking right. And you're still sitting here, bro. So obviously, tell you what, I tell you this. I'm not even talking to you. I'm talking to that principle that is the principle of your whole existence. It's a reason you still sitting here, brother or sister. It's a reason you're still here. Why the fuck are you here? This shit is for you. You just don't know it yet. You just don't know it yet. That's how I started this video off. We're not talking to the intellect. This information is not for the intellect. This information is not for your mind. This information is not for your morality system. This bypasses that. This shit here bypasses all of that, my friend. Yeah, man, pull the heartstrings, do your good karma. Facts. If y'all just joining, please hit that like button. And if you're just joining, you're probably gonna want to rewind this motherfucker back. I ain't gonna lie to you, guys. Look at him. You just want to argue. I just want to argue. I ain't finna argue with you. I ain't gonna argue with you. You wanna argue. You wanna argue. Look at you wanna argue. Look at you trying to argue. Ain't nobody finna argue with you. Nigga, I ain't finna argue with you. You're right. Whatever the fuck trust in Jesus says is fucking right. And I don't mean it to deflect. He's fucking right. Those are his concepts. They are true for him. You wanna argue. Look at you wanna argue. So let's go. Do we read 26? So get that out of your brother's eye. And that's what I just told him, right? I've already examined myself so I can see the shit that's in your eye. You just can't see it in your eye. And you're trying to pull it out of my eye because you have something in your eye. That's why you can't see clearly, thinking something's in my eye. So I understand where that brother is coming from, or sister, or whoever the fuck that is behind that name. Hey, guess what? That motherfucker probably got in. Guess what? He got a hold of the right stuff. Trusting Jesus got a hold of the right stuff. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Won't he do it? God won't put you in nothing that you ain't supposed to be in front of. So obviously, if you here trusting Jesus, God put you here. Jesus sent you here. Nigga. That's Plies. I think Plies was having a beef with somebody. You know, I ain't finna argue with you. You wanna argue. You wanna argue. I'm finna argue with you. So remember, look at yourself before you look at the next person. And judge yourself first before you can judge the next person, is basically what they're saying. All right. So we done ran through all them. Like this, Trail. I got something for that nigga. Yeah, take that. What did he just say? I got something for that nigga. Take that. Bro, chill, bro. Bro, chill, bro. Hey, bro, chill, bro. Oh, we forgot my favorite number, 17. Let's read verse 17. What does it say? Check this out. Verse 17. Yes, sir. I shall give you what no eye has seen, and what no ear has heard, and what no hand has touched. You know what we're going? This is some Brahmic talk right here. This is some non-dualistic talk. You can't see the self. You can't hear the self. You can't feel the self. You can't touch the self. You can't hear consciousness, can't see consciousness, can't feel consciousness, can't touch consciousness. None of your five senses can sense it, is what he's saying. So how do I know that's what he's saying? Because here, and what has never occurred to the human mind. Your measly human mind cannot wrap itself around non-duality, which is why ultimately you're going to have to fall into the state of surrender. You're just going to have to know that you know that I am. You know that I exist. That is it. All of these other concepts you don't know. You don't know how the universe came into being. You don't know how they built the motherfucking pyramids. You don't know no gods and demons outside of the mind. That's in the mind. The mind knows that based off of the concepts that it was given. While we read verse 17, we got 17 people watching. Please hit that like button. But you cannot know the self. The self is that which cannot be known, but it's called know thyself. That's paradoxical into word to trust in Jesus. That is contradictory. It is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. These things that we're talking about here has never occurred to the human mind. The human mind cannot wrap itself around those type of things. You don't know, but you know. That's what I say. He who knows Brahman, he who says he knows Brahman not. He who does not know Brahman knows Brahman. Because it's known that it's something that the mind, the five senses cannot comprehend. So I have give you things that cannot or has never occurred to the human mind. Oh, Trav, I picked this text. You know what? Ever since I shared that video from Bobby Hemmett talking about the Gnostic scriptures, specifically the Gospel of Thomas. I guess it left a mental impression. Obviously, listening to Bobby Hemmett, you done heard about it a million times, but just recently sharing it, probably last month or something, it just been sticking to my mind. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna read that shit. I'm gonna read that shit. I'm gonna read that shit because I don't got none of the nag commodity scriptures. I don't got the book, the original text. So I was just thinking about it one day. And I seen something else that popped up online that sparked my what's the name? I think it was Ray Hagan. Wasn't Ray Hagan like a Christian teacher and then found out about the Egyptian shit and switched over? And I think he was talking about it was a clip of him talking about Abraham and the sons of Abraham, right? Which, you know, a lot of people in the Abrahamic religions are like, we sons of Abraham. But actually in the Bible, in that Bible verse, it says that the sons of Abraham is not real. It's an allegory. So everybody running around, we sons of Abraham, we sons of Abraham, like literally the lineage of a physical lineage of Abraham is false because it's an allegory. And something about that sparked and said, man, hold on, let me go read the Gospel of Thomas. And once I started reading, I'm like, oh, this is some non-dual shit. This is some non-dual shit. What the fuck? Look at this nigga Jesus running his mouth. He talking that gangster shit. The shit that'll get a stone thrown at your ass. So yeah, that's what had me. Like my granny said, he on that stuff. So here we're talking about what has never occurred to the human mind. Oh. Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way because Jesus was a fucking mystic. So if that's the case, Jesus has deceived you. It's obvious Jesus was a fucking mystic. By the common definition of what the fuck a mystic is. Okay. Let's go to verse 49. We ain't gonna be here long, y'all. It's almost done. But the commentary makes it even better. Verse 49. Jesus said, blessed are the solitary and the elite and the elect. Blessed are the solitary and the elect. Blessed are the solitary and the elect. For you will find the kingdom, for you are from it, and to it you will return. Blessed are those ones who see one. Blessed are those who see one, and blessed are those who stand in solitude, who stand separate from the rest of the worldly people. Blessed are those. Blessed are those. Blessed are those people who are the solitary and elect. Don't you niggas feel separate from the rest of these motherfuckers out here? Even though ultimately we're not. Ultimately, we're not. It's nothing but the self. But on this level, on a relative level, you know you're different. You're separate. What group? Ain't no we. Ain't no we. Real niggas understand that. Ain't no we. Ain't no we. And when you understand that, you will find the kingdom. For you are from the kingdom and you will return to it. When you see this shit as one, the elect, not the elected. There's no multitudes. It's only one. That's why when the Bible says it's only one God, it's obviously only one. It's always been one. But then you had little break off pieces that the human intellect and mind like to create separate gods for this. This is the God of this. This is the God of that. This is the God of this. This is the God of that. They're ultimately illusionary because all gods is nothing but the mind, or nothing but factions of the mind. All gods are nothing but factions of the mind. The mind is multifaceted. It's multiple aspects of the mind. There's where the multitude is. Yeah, I'm not even reading your. You got to come with some better shit. Jesus, trust in Jesus. Come with some better shit that I can joke on. That's not even. That's nigga. You're too intellectual. Very intellectual. I give you that. 51. 51 says, his disciples said to him, when will the repose, when will the stillness, right, of the dead come about? And when will the new world come? His disciples asked, when will the repose of the dead come about? And when will the new world come? When will this new Jerusalem come? He said to them, what you look forward to has already come, nigga. You talking about the new world, the new dimension. You talking about the next dimension. It has already come, but you do not recognize it. You intellectual ass nigga. You 5 cents based ass nigga. It has already come, and you cannot recognize it. Why? That's based off of your concepts. You can't accept a nigga talking like this because of your concepts. You can't see the real reality for what it is. Why? Based off of your concepts. It's your concepts of what you want it to be like, you fucking intellectual. That is why you cannot see the divinity. That is why you cannot look around and see heaven all around you. That is why you cannot see this, because you are of the multitude tribe. Multitudes are an illusion. Separation is an illusion. There is no separation. The senses and the mind creates and sees separation. There is no separation. There's only one. And that's why you do not recognize the heaven within and outside of you, above you, and around you. Well, thank you. I am the master teacher of hypocrisy. So thank you, trust in Jesus. This is the Hypocrisy YouTube channel. Why did you not understand that before you entered? Why did you not ask Jesus before you entered? This is all right. This is the hip hop, hippity hop hypocrisy. Let's go. 67. Jesus said, if one who knows the all, right? The all, if one who knows the all still feels a personal deficiency, he is completely deficient. If you niggas claim to be the God, or if you niggas claim to know God, or if you niggas claim to be advanced spiritually, but you still feel some personal deficiency, what is personal deficiency? Your ego, your personality. If you still feel some deficiency in there, you're deficient. You're completely deficient. It's not there yet, which is okay. It's fine, right? Because deficient means you can become efficient, right? But if you still feel some deficiency, if you still feel lack, let's say that. If you still feel lack, then you're completely in lack. You don't know the all. Not just yet. For some, it's gradual. For some, it's instant. And for the mind, regardless, it's gradual. But for you, the self, it's instant. It's always been. It's never not going to be. Let's go to 56. Oh, we skipped 56? We skipped 56. Jesus said, whoever has come to understand the world has found only a corpse. I'm going to break this shit down to you. What does he mean? Whoever has come to understand the world has found only a corpse. You ain't found nothing but some bullshit. Nothing that don't mean nothing. You found something that don't mean shit. What does that mean? It's double layered. You know all the knowledge of the motherfucking world. You know how to pronounce words the right way. You know every spiritual motherfucking concept. And what beings come from this dimension, when the world is going to end, if the world is round or flat. You know about Mars. You know about Jupiter. You know what these little balls mean for goddamn Ganesh. You know about what the Illuminati is doing. You know about what happened in the year 15 AD. You know about the Romans. You know about the Jews. You know about the juice. You know about the Illuminati. You know about Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Donald Trump and Bubba. They say that boy goddamn Donald Trump was out giving 2-for-1 BJs. You know about all of that shit. You know about all the celebrities cheating. You know about all what niggas should do if their wife is cheating on them. You know what a man should and shouldn't be. You know who is hypocritical. You know all of that shit. You know all about this world. You don't know about shit. You don't know nothing but bullshit. You don't know nothing but worldly shit. That shit ain't got shit to do with the soul. None of that shit has a goddamn thing to do with the soul, the cosmic principle. None of that has anything to do with standing on principle, pure awareness, pure consciousness, the self. So anyone who knows all of that shit only only. I'm not saying there's anything with knowing that shit. What I'm saying, those who know that shit only, motherfuckers know all the sciences. Well, the science says this, and science, that shit ain't about shit. You have come to only know a corpse, nigga. But those whoever has found a corpse is superior to the world. Those who know that this corpse, so you got one person who has found who came to understand this whole world. They don't know that they have found and came to understand nothing but a corpse. But those who come to find that this corpse, that this world is nothing but a corpse, is superior to the world. It's superior to the world. You're superior to the world. You are outer worldly. You are not of the world, is what he's saying. Those who know that this world ain't shit and all the knowledge in it ain't shit is superior to the world. You are not of it. You are not of this world, my nigga. Take that home. Take that to the bank. Check. God damn it. Let's get down here to 67. We got 2 more verses. No, let's get down here to 62. Jesus said, "It is those who are worthy of my mysteries that I tell my mysteries, nigga." This shit is only for those who are worthy, not worthy because you become a super high moral standard, upright living citizen or spiritual person. Has nothing to do with it. Those who have the correct mental temperament is who this is for. Those are the ones who are worthy. Those are the ones who are worthy. Those are the ones who are worthy. It hits them and it's just like, damn, that's it. Those are the ones who are worthy. It's not because you know more spiritual shit or you feel like you're doing the shit the correct way and everybody else is doing it the wrong way. That has nothing to do with your worthiness. There's everything to do with this false character, this false ego, these false concepts that you take yourself to be. But those worthy ones has nothing to do with it. You don't even have to know your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s for this shit to land on you. You don't have to know shit about science and the periodic table and atoms and fucking genetics and fucking goddamn gold and silver, atomic numbers and shit. 666 is melanin. You ain't got to know all of that shit. They ain't got nothing to do with your worthiness, nigga. So I only tell these mysteries to those who are worthy of the mysteries. Do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. That's why he pulled Thomas to the side. He was the only worthy one. Thomas was the only one. Hey, trust in Jesus. Help me out here since you know way more about the Bible. Is Thomas and Jesus the same person? Help me out there. School me on that shit. Is Thomas and Jesus? I said Thomas and Jesus. Thomas and Judas the same person? Last but not least, verse 67. Hold up. Hold up. Because it might be something else I was missing that I wanted to talk about. Oh, yeah, we're going to go to verse 89 after that. Let's get back up here. I just asked. Didn't I just ask this nigga just to tell me if Thomas and Judas was the same person? This nigga went into debate again about the gospel of Thomas. We know you say it's a forgery, bro. We don't care. That didn't make nobody stop. That didn't make nobody stop from reading it. The fuck are you talking about, man? Okay, hold up. All right. So we back up here to. Did we read 62? Yeah, we did. We read 67 too. Oh, we read everyone. So let's go to 89. 89 says, Jesus said, why do you wash the outside of the cup? Why do you focus on your outer appearance, your outer morality? Why do you focus on the things that's perceived on the outside? Do you not realize that he who made the inside is the same one who made the outside? Do you not realize? Why are you trying to clean the world of those of who seem to be in deceit? Why do you try to clean the world of evil? Do you not know that Isaiah 45? Let's see. Hold up. Let's see. Because I posted it earlier. I showed y'all earlier. Hold up. Because I don't know the Bible better than Jesus. Whatever the Jesus nigga name is on here. Isaiah 45:7. What did it say? I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I am the Lord. I do all these things. I am the Lord, nigga. I do all this shit. I create evil and good, good and evil. That's why this nigga Yeshua or Jesus or whatever the fuck you want to call him said, why do you wash the outside of the cup? Why are you washing the outside of the cup? Do you not realize he who has made the inside is the same who made the outside? Nigga, the same one who created evil created good. The same one who created good created evil, nigga. Ultimately, that's your mind. That's your dualistic mind doing that shit, creating evil and concepts of good and concepts of evil. Your mind is doing that, niggas. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That is the God of this reality, really. But anyway, it's another story because we have to go deep into that. I'd rather not. But do you not realize the inside is the same as the outside? Make this shit one. What did he say at the top? You can't enter the kingdom believing there to be two. There's only one. This is what we stand over here over on this YouTube. Oneness. There's only one. Yes, we see multitudes, but those are appearances, and appearances are false. That is why this is called the matrix, the illusionary realm. In essence, it is very true. The essence of it, the raw material, so-called, for lack of better words, is what this shit is made of. It's true. but the appearance of it is false. The appearance of it is false. That's what makes this place an illusion. The inside and outside are of the same, my nigga. 113. Then I'm going to check the comments. His disciples said to him, hey, Jesus, say, bro, when will the kingdom come? Jesus said, like, hey, bro, to keep it real with you, it will not come by waiting for it. Fuck, nigga. God damn it, this trust in Jesus nigga here. It will not come by waiting for it. It will not be a matter of saying. So he said, when will the kingdom come? He said it won't come by waiting for it. It will not be a matter of saying, here it is, or there it is. It's not going to be some shit that you can point out with your physical senses. You're not going to be saying, here it is. Hey, it's over here. Oh, there it is over there. You ain't going to be able to point it out with your senses, with your mind. Rather, the kingdom of the Father is spread out upon earth, and men do not see it. You men do not see it. Men do not see it. And they won't. And that's okay. Now let's read these comments. Ghetto Physics, my 77, my dog, what's happening? It will go on forever in the mind of those who do not know that good and evil don't even exist. I agree. Inseparability. You guys are a comedian. False. Isaiah 45:7 show God rules light and darkness, peace and calmity. Misuse claims he made sin. Okay, you know what? What version of the Bible are you reading, bro? I can't even spell Isaiah. So you're right. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create. I don't know what the fuck you're reading. It's very simple. It says it right there. Oh. It says it right there. I make peace and create calamity. I, the Lord, do all of these things. And we're not talking about moral evil. Human beings come up with that. Nigga. Duh. Duh. Human beings come up with that. Human beings come up with morality. Because God ain't said a goddamn thing. It shows his sovereignty over peace and disaster, not authorship of moral evil. Nice try. That's still stupid. Because if God created every goddamn thing, didn't he also create the motherfucking devil, Satan, Lucifer? There's no who's the co-creator? There's multiple gods in that book. The Elohim. Let us go down and make man in our image. In our image. That's another story. I'm not trying. This is not a Bible decoding. What's her name? We ran through the Gospel of Thomas and decoded that. Nigga. I said, oh, what about Jay? Oh, you asking him that. Man, come on. What Mo B said. This level of understanding must be devoid of ego, period. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get this shit. That's what we've been talking about this whole. You're not going to get it. It's not going to settle within you. You're not going to get the nutrients, niggas. You think you see, but you don't see. You are sight itself. You are sight itself. Straight up. Glad I kicked on your live and follow your Insta for more insight and understand it's needed and came at the right time, man. Listen, man, there's never a right time to say hello. It's always the right time, my friend. Always the right time. And that's how this shit naturally, it spontaneously happens, bro. It spontaneously happens. You spontaneously always where you're supposed to be. Spontaneously. Everywhere you're supposed to be, you always end up there. Remember that. And that's what this stands. This is what this stands for. No obstacles will apprehend you, prosper over pain. There are no obstacles. There's only opportunity for you to realize the self. For you to have the opportunity to observe your one-sided thoughts and your one-sided opinions based upon your fucking concepts. There's always that opportunity. Bro, hey, trust in Jesus, do you have anything you can spit that's outside of the Bible? That's all you got, buddy. That's all you got. You have been trapped. I don't remember Jesus walking around with no goddamn Bible. Or maybe I'm wrong. Somebody can school me there. And he didn't walk around with no goddamn Bible. He was the living word, nigga. I am the living word. These people in this chat here are the living word. You are even the living word, whether you recognize it or not. Because once we started off here, we ran through direct experience before we picked up the book, before we picked up the text, before we pulled up the PDF. We ran through what's your direct experience. All this other shit you don't know. All this other shit is hearsay. All this other shit is hearsay. Everybody has the same three main experiences: waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. When you're in a waking state, you use your five senses, which elude you, which are trickery, because you don't experience reality directly. You don't. You should understand that based off basic science. Your basic science should tell you that you don't experience reality directly through the five senses. Sometimes you thought you seen some shit you didn't see. Sometimes you thought you heard some shit you didn't hear. Sometimes you felt some shit you didn't really feel. Sometimes you smelt some shit that you didn't really smell. Sometimes you taste some shit that you didn't really taste. In the dream state, what do you do in the dream state? You take your outer experience in the so-called outer world and go back into the sleep state, the dream state, I mean. And you recreate that shit in there. The five senses have now turned from outward to inward. Now it's all going on in your mind. So what is that showing you? It's all in the mind. Then you get to the deep sleep state. Well, mind does not exist. You know you're going to deep sleep, but you don't know. You know that you slept in the deep sleep state, but there was nothing for you to recollect because there was no contents to be observant of. It was nothing but pure observation. The only time that the mind rests, the only escape from the motherfucking matrix in this instance, in this relative understanding that we're talking about right now. And we ran through that in more detail. We'll wind back and go back and watch that. But as always, y'all, as my nigga Coop TGS just said, I gotta bounce. Happy Thanksgiving. So thankful for you all. I'm thankful for all y'all as well, man. Let's see what my nigga Ghetto 50 say before I get up out of here. Hey, check out this movie called Time Change 2001. Okay. Time Change 2001. It dealt with why niggas so caught up in religion on the level of time travel. Damn. Oh, it's on Tubi. I ain't never watched a Tubi movie. But because you referenced it, my nigga, I'ma watch it. Let's see what this nigga said one more time. What does direct experience mean? Notice that you're about to engage in an intellectual reason of your senses to explain it. Demonizing God-given intellect for mystical experience is absurdity. There's no way to demonize God. There's no way to demonize your precious God through the concept that you understand. There's no way that God can be demonized because there are no fucking demons. I've said this a million goddamn times. There are no fucking demons, right? And then the intellect. Okay, let's talk about the intellect and your senses. The point is, you are beyond the intellect. There's no point why I said the intellect was useless. It's useless to know the self. You're not going to be able to intellectualize the self. The intellect cannot go there. Intellect is used for daily reasons around here. Yes, you need the intellect to know how to put a fucking shirt on. You need the intellect to know how to put a thumbtack in a fucking wall. You need the intellect to know how to fucking read. You need the intellect to know how to fucking finger fuck YouTube comment section like you're doing. The intellect is useful for that. It has nothing to do with knowing the self. It has nothing to do with knowing the ultimate principle. What I give you is beyond the human mind, is what that nigga said. What is direct experience? It's literally this. What is my experience of looking down in my hand? It's direct. It's direct. My direct experience of slapping myself. You see me slapping myself. That's not your direct experience. You can slap yourself. That's direct experience. And if I see you slap yourself, that's not my direct experience. My direct experience is observing you slap yourself. That's what we mean by direct experience. Oh, you said demonizing God-given intellect. The intellect just ain't superior, bro. I know you can't accept that. But that's why you motherfuckers, that's why the motherfuckers in the Bible, so-called we take it real, motherfuckers tried to build a Tower of Babel to reach up to God. They were over intellectualizing it. They thought they can use their intellect to build a tower to the fucking heavens. That's what that symbolizes. You thought you can use your intellect to reach God. And you can't. Fool. I just be having fun with this shit. Love, brother. Love, brother. Hey, but we out this bitch, y'all. As always, remember, no obstacles will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. There are no obstacles. There's only opportunity for you to be the observer and understand that there is only one, and you are that one who is observing reality. You're not the one acting in this shit. You ain't the one acting in this shit. You're not the one acting. Nature is doing the acting for those who understand that. And with what Mothra just said, that is the end. Peace out, y'all. We'll holler at y'all, man. Oh no, we ain't finna end it yet. Hold up. Thanks for engaging. I just repented. Yeah, I just finished repenting. See you next time. I repented.